Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mindset Mastery with Paul Jancarella Jr. Paul, how are you? It is freezing in this office. Let me just say, first and foremost, we could shut the blinds. That might do a little bit of good, but it's like the main perk of the office.
Outside.
It is colder outside.
And I was outside in the elements this morning.
Yeah.
And but when you're working around and moving things, it's not too bad. So I gotta say, I'm a bit unprofessional today.
Okay.
I came in just before I came into your office. I saw that dish of hard candy.
Yeah.
And I love them so much, so I put it in my mouth, and now I got a candy. It's like chewing gum talking in an interview.
It's all right. It happens.
So I'm pointing out my own errors right here. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, so I'll try not to be a banana and get this thing sucked down pretty quick. But
Can I just say that I love that your go-to insult is banana. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if anybody's mentioned it to you. You say banana more than any human I've ever met in my entire life. But you know what?
It's better than being derogatory, like swearing or saying an a-hole or something. You know what I mean? I just want to.
Yeah.
He looked at me like I'm a banana.
He looked at me like I was a banana. You say it every week. I love it.
You know, you know what? I'm probably going to say it more now because you said that. But do you know where I got the term from? Original, like to use it in language like I use it in, was from Tucker Terranova, the athletic director at the Wesley High School.
Oh yeah.
I worked for him at Seaside Beach Club. He was the manager there with Bud Blanchett, and he looked at me one time because I did something wacky, you know what I mean, like goofy.
Yeah. He's
like, "You are just a banana." So you know what? That's never left me, and I've never been nothing but a banana, I guess.
Wow. Well, Tucker Terranova. Shout out to Tucker Terranova. He did the color commentary for us for the middle school girls softball championships in the spring.
He was a heck of a baseball player.
Yeah. So he lives up north now, and up north
with his girlfriend.
And John Fazaro was doing the play-by-play for us. And so John called Tucker, and the two of them did the middle school softball championships for us.
And
at Rhode Island College.
Yeah, they're friendly. But yeah, Tucker Terranova was a real good baseball player in his day. I believe he was I'm going to say a shortstop, but I don't know for sure because I remember I got into some deep conversations with him doing stuff at Seaside. And I said, "How did you get the nickname Tucker?" Because all three sons are Tucker. You know, they call him Tucker. And he said to me, I think it was like a cartoon strip, Tommy Tucker or something, and his friend, and someone said, "You look like him," and it just stuck from there. And then next thing you know, it took off. I don't know, all the kids have it now.
Nice. Do you have a nickname, Paul? Other
than
banana?
Jackass is another one. Burro. Mexican Spanish. But yeah, I am Paul Jancarella Jr. They called my dad the Gull. And I never really knew why. I never really cared. They just say, "Hey, the Gull." And I used to see that. And I finally found out from God rest his soul, the late Tony Sirio. He said they called your dad the Gull because anywhere he went, if there was food, he'd just start picking at it and start eating like a seagull. You know what I mean? So they called him the Gull. You know, he'd eat everything, you know, and I thought that was the funniest thing. So, I mean, I love nicknames for people, but I also love how they got them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've never really had a nickname that stuck. I mean, Ben is a nickname, but in high school, on the football team, they called me Goose.
Really? Top Gun?
Yeah, no. I was the nose guard,
Okay.
and this was 2001, right? So Tony Saragusa from the Ravens was
Yeah.
a big deal, big lineman, and when he put on his helmet, like you could see his cheeks, right? Like his cheeks were prominent in his helmet, and the Coach Kelly thought that I looked like Tony Saragusa.
Oh, so he called you Goose.
So he called me Goose, and Keith Lambrex, who's a great police officer now for Hopkinton. Keith Lambrex was on the team, and he had joined the year before me, and his nickname was Moose. So it was Moose and Goose. Moose and Goose, yeah.
I love
So
that.
occasionally, like every once in a while, someone will call me Goose
Yeah, right.
from that high school football team.
Yeah,
but other than that, I've never really had a nickname.
Yeah, and really, nor have I. You know, I mean, there's probably 8 of us that are best friends, so to speak. You know, my buddy Mike Toronto, you know, we'd call him T-Bird, and then it got down to the point we just called him Bird. But he would spell it B-Y-R-D.
Okay.
You know, when we were texting or whatever or something like that. Bruno Trombino from Wesley Packing.
Yep.
He doesn't need a nickname. He went to his fraternity. I think they called his fraternity name was Moose.
Yeah.
But Bruno was such a predominant name for him. That kid looks like a Bruno. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Bruno was Bruno. Carmine Intrieri, he was Nick. Carminick, you know, Nick. We called him Nick sometimes. Johnny Spo is Spo. You know, pretty basic there. Andy Preet, you know, Pee Wee is what they called him in high school from when he was a lot smaller naturally, and soccer they called him Pee Wee. Jeff Ligori, he got the nickname Money for a number of reasons. You know what I mean? But that sometimes stuck, sometimes didn't. And then Darren Allen, the 8th lefty. Because he had the 3 fingers on his right hand, you know what I mean? He had a shorted hand, so he had a left hand, so we called him Lefty, you know what I mean? And that stuck, you know what I mean? So I don't know how we got down this path.
I don't either. I like it.
This is good radio, good talk, good podcasting.
It's good. So what are we talking about today, by the way? Because this is usually we have like a little bit of a pre-show where you know, a little bit of a pre-show you know, back and forth between the two of us where we're like, it's very quick, but it's what do you want to talk about today? Oh, here's the topic of the day, et cetera, et cetera. You walked in, we went, it's cold in here.
Yep, let's do it.
Then I've been sitting in here for 4 hours now. It's cold.
Yeah. Although I feel better than when I first walked in.
Good.
Although I didn't take my jacket off. But you know, but nonetheless. So anyhow, you know, mindset mastery, that can cover a lot of things. And again, it's not just you know, to be better financially, to be better with relationships, to be better in your mental health, your physical health, your vocation. There's so many things. And that's what I love about this industry is I don't really have to preach it, so to speak. I just talk to people to find out what they want in their lives to better themselves. And a lot of the times I was guilty of this. I would tell you what I didn't want. I didn't necessarily know what I did want, but I tell you what I didn't want. You know, and I get on a negative rant on something down the road or whatever. And that's what's kind of you know, funny, ironic about it all. But as I mentioned to you real quick, coming here, I got a phone call or a text from my neighbor on Saturday night, and he said, "Hey, listen, we just went to the Lobster Trap Christmas tree in Stonington Borough. I think it's going on 4 years, 21? Was 21 the first year? I don't even know if it was.
4th or 5th year.
Yeah. So anyhow, I went the first year when it first opened, but I really haven't gone regularly since. And he said, my husband, my neighbor texted me, my husband wants to volunteer to take that down if they need help. I said, oh, they always need help. So now I'm thinking to myself, great. Now I have to volunteer because what am I going to do? Just find out all the details and not show up? So I texted Lisa and she's like, you know, we'll be there at 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, bright and early, no matter what the weather is. I said, okay. So I texted him. I said, dress warm because it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was. But we had a lot of great people there. You know, I say a lot. We didn't have that many, but it was a good group of people that, you know, we were working as well as we did. We probably did 60%, maybe 65% yesterday.
Yeah.
And then today, she's like, if you're around, I told her, I don't think I'm going to be around. But sure enough, I looked up on my schedule. I said, geez, you know, I really don't have anything until 11 o'clock, our podcast. So I said, well, let me just bang this out and go help them out. And it was good that I did because, you know, they could always use the help. So after this podcast, I'll probably drive on the way home, check in at the chamber to see if they need help moving those lobster traps into the those roll-off storage bins they have. And the thing is that people don't realize they see the event, the duck race, the water fire, the lobster trap tree. They don't realize how much work goes into it before and after, and the volunteers that's needed. So it's worked out, you know, pretty well in that respect. So I was really excited to you know, help out and to be done, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But that also, Ben, that also goes into your mindset. It's like, oh no, I can't do that. It's working hours. I gotta, you know, grow my business, this, that, and the other thing. You know what? Sometimes you gotta stop and do what should be done.
Yep.
And who knows? Maybe I grew my business more than I realized yesterday. I met some great people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about all of those chamber events, isn't it? Is that you are able to network while doing something good for the community, whatever that may be. So yeah, I think that's,
you know, and again, I was, you know, actually when I got in the car, took off my hood, my hat, I was really sweating, you know, and I said, oh geez, I got to go on camera. Thank God I'm not on camera today. That's all I got to say. You know?
I got bad news for you. Brandon Dugas says, hi, Paulie and Ben.
Oh,
hello.
Love him. He's my workout family in the morning at 5 a.m. at the YMCA. He's there consistently with his wife Jennifer, and I consider them good friends.
Yeah.
Even though I see him every day and I really don't do anything else other than work out with them, that's how tight you kind of get with people. But Brandon is good people. So
how busy is the Y at 5 a.m.?
You know something? It was probably maybe a dozen people.
Yeah.
Now it's probably 2.5 dozen people. So now I went to use an apparatus, and I'm like, I can't believe there's so many people in here and I can use this. So there was no bench. I couldn't find a bench. I said, this is crazy. I've never, ever had that problem of not finding a bench. So you got to work on the fly. You know what I mean? I wasn't meant to do that day.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to look at it, as opposed to me. I used to get so upset that, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. I did so many people here. Get them out of here. Now I'm just like, you know what? I'm not supposed to be doing this today because I can't find a bench. I'm supposed to be doing a different exercise, maybe first, and then do that second or whatever have you. So yeah. So Brandon Dugas took us off another rant.
I think not next week, but the week after is the single biggest week drop off in the gym year.
Resolutions.
Yeah, it's Jay Stevenson, friend, personal trainer, made a great video about it a couple years ago. It's the week that most people fail. It's the third week of January.
Yeah, but it's not so much fail.
Right.
Because you can fail and get back up again.
Yeah.
It's quit.
Yep.
That's when people quit, you know?
Yeah.
We'll probably see cigarette sales go up.
I'll track them.
Right? But yeah, it's amazing, and it's every year, and it's almost like, you know, you do these things, or you say these. Excuse me, you say.
How
these
dare
things.
you?
Are we okay? Did I break anything?
No, you're fine. The last the morning show that I did this morning, I like karate chopped the wire for the camera, and it just went like flying up in the air. Yeah,
okay. So
that's fine. Yeah, it's indestructible.
But think about this. We say to ourselves, yeah, I got to lose some weight. You say it. I say it. This person says it. But do you mean it? You know what I mean? You say it, but do you actually mean it? It's one thing to say it and to know it. Another thing to actually do it. And so many of the personal growth and development folks focus on the action. Take action, even if it's imperfect action. Paul, get on camera, even though you're talking like a banana. You know what I mean? Whatever. Just get out there and do it. You know what I mean? Because the way I look at it is people want to see your human side.
Yeah.
They don't want to see a polished podcast and it's just boom, 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 boom. They want to see a guy flubber around and say, geez, what the heck was I going to say? And, because that's life.
Mm-hmm.
That's life. So that's where I am right now.
Right. I agree with that. Absolutely. Did you have a New Year's resolution this year?
No. You know why?
Why?
And I'll be perfectly candid with all of you.
Well,
my
thank you.
resolutions, they start on Ash Wednesday.
Okay.
So I'm locked in on Ash Wednesday where I go, bam. Okay, I'm doing all the candy that's in my mouth right now, the sweets, the maybe the juices or the soda or whatever. I'll just try to stick to my guns there, and I kind of really dial myself in health-wise. So, again, some people say, is it for the figure in the mirror or the figure on the cross? I said, yeah, geez, that's a good question. But the point is, maybe it's both. Maybe it's both. I'm doing it to be sacrificial to maybe I have a friend that's battling ALS or cancer or really struggling. My sacrifices, whether I stop eating the way I want to eat or stop doing something or sacrificing whatever, is a form of prayer. That's what I believe. And that energy will get directed to that person. Whether I see them being healed or not, it's going to them in some direction. I just whacked the microphone.
That's all right, man.
So resolutions for me, with Ash Wednesday, my diet, I kind of eliminate all junk food. And I'll tell you, Christmas time, thank God I don't have resolutions, because those chocolate, my neighbor made these milk chocolate, something with caramel in them. It was like, but I say, you know what? I'm going to have a couple now.
Yeah.
Because it's not my resolution. March 4th, Ash Wednesday, or March 5th, whatever it is, I'm locked in. And then after Easter on 20th of this year, April 20th, I'll just, be moderation. Won't get too bananas. Still be sticking to my diet until about maybe October 1st, and then I blow up like a wood tick. You know what I mean? And I start it all over again.
Well, you gotta bulk up for the winter. Right. You need the extra. You need the extra for the winter, because you got to do podcasts in this freezing cold office.
So that's the deal.
Nice. I like that, because at the end of the day, whether it's Ash Wednesday or the New Year or your birthday or the first day of summer or whatever it may be, they're arbitrary lines that we draw in the sand, right? They're one of my favorite things that I ever did was, we always say, I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start on Monday. I'm going to start on the first of the year. I'm going to start on the first of the month. In 2018, I think, something like that, I was considering going vegan. And not for ethical reasons, although I support the people that do that.
Yeah, right.
Not for ethical reasons, I wanted to just try and see how I felt. I noticed that, when I would have a lighter meal of, without dairy or eggs, or dairy and eggs both can bother me. And meat, I mean, I love steak, I love chicken, but it's not like the end all be all for me. Okay. So I was like, let me do this. And I was like, I'm going to start August 1st.
When was the month? When did you decide? Like, when you said August 1st?
I think like July. I think like July, like July. But I had been thinking about it for a couple of years. And so I was like, I'm going to start August 1st. And then I remember the moment. It was like July 17th, and I was eating a chicken sandwich with my best friend. I was eating a chicken sandwich, and about halfway through the chicken sandwich, I went, why the hell am I eating this chicken sandwich right now? There's something I want to do for myself. Why am I going to start in 13 days from now? Like, why am I going to do that? If this is something that I believe is going to be beneficial for me, it's something that I genuinely want to do. It's not like something that I'm dreading doing. It's something that I genuinely want to do and I want to do for myself.
Yeah.
Why am I going to wait until August 1st? It's July 17th. I'm halfway through eating a chicken sandwich that I don't want at this point. I don't even like really want to finish
So
this.
it's not like you craved. You're like, oh, this is so good.
No, it
Okay.
was good. It was a good chicken sandwich. I could tell you I'm not going to tell you the restaurant because it was a good chicken sandwich.
Okay.
But I was like, I literally just put it down, didn't finish it, and went, I'm gonna start now.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's what I like to hear.
and that lasted for a year and a half.
Did it really?
Yeah, it lasted.
You were vegan for a year and a half?
It
That's
lasted.
hard.
It lasted until.
I guess it's not hard if you.
It's
wanna
not
do
hard.
it. If you
No,
wanna
it's
do
not.
it,
It's really not
anything
that
you wanna
hard.
do, it's like doing anything.
It's really not all that hard. Especially okay, so if you're doing it for ethical reasons,
Yeah.
it can be difficult because you're trying to. And I don't really like to use the word vegan. Plant-based is more what I was.
Yeah.
Because vegan has that ideology behind it that was not what I was doing.
Yeah.
But also it if I had something that had some sort of a binder in it that I didn't realize had like gelatin or like whatever,
Oh, okay.
and then gelatin isn't vegan,
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not eating cheese. I'm not eating dairy.
Right. So you're not going
I'm
bananas
not-
like, oh my
yeah.
goodness, like
No, I didn't like.
It's like a Jew, an Orthodox Jew with kosher.
Yeah.
You weren't like
No,
that.
if I found out that I ate something and then it was made with eggs, I would have been like, all right, that'll suck later. But whatever.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't like super, crazy about it, but I did what I needed to do, which is why I like to say plant-based instead of that I went vegan. And it lasted until about a month into the pandemic.
Okay.
So
2020.
so
it's like maybe April.
yeah.
Of 2020.
Yeah, April 2020.
And why? Tell me that.
Because I was not leaving the house. So I almost died in 2009 from H1N1. You see my beautiful
Holy
little
cow, yeah.
tracheostomy scar.
I remember that very well because my
Um,
son had cancer at that point. We were doing treatments. We had to wear the masks and everything.
Yep.
That was before COVID, naturally.
Yep. So
2009.
I had the horror story that everybody had with COVID. Like I was on a ventilator for
Holy
3
crap.
weeks, and my kidneys failed, and like a whole bunch of other stuff. Like I had that bad, the H1N1 flu, and so my parents were in the nursing home. They would eventually pass away, but my parents were in the nursing home, and I lived with my two best friends and her son, and she worked at a grocery store, and she was like, you guys are high risk. I will do the grocery shopping when I'm, at work or on my way home, and come home, and I'll cook and whatever. And so it was a level of, we're trying to get through something.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to be like, did you get the tofu?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I need I don't have enough tempeh. Like,
yeah, right.
get whatever you're going to get. Like,
Right.
it's easier for us to all make meals for ourselves, like together.
Okay.
How
How come you haven't gone back
to
to vegan, or to plant-based? Just to, it's one of the things you haven't done.
Well, one of the other reasons why I stopped was I had time to be plant-based before.
Okay.
And it would take a level of that I should be able to do. Like, I don't think that it's 100% necessary. I think everything in moderation is fine
course.
for the reasons that I'm doing it. I don't eat a ton of meat still. I
So you're like Tom Brady. You're not a vegan, but
Yeah.
you do have a vegan diet.
Yeah. I
You know what I
don't eat a lot of meat. I don't eat a lot of cheese. I will have like a cheese pizza or a cheeseburger.
Right. What's your objective with your diet, so to speak, as far as what your intake is? Do you really want to, because I know you want to lose weight,
Yeah.
or remove weight, I should say, because when you lose weight, you generally find, you find what you
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah. It is,
How you feel, all that stuff.
yeah. And that's the, like, I really like fasting. I really like intermittent fasting.
Okay.
I really like,
A lot of people do it.
yeah. I do it a lot of times unintentionally.
Right. You're so busy. Yeah. You know, you
Yeah.
have a chance to eat.
I'm in this office. I mean, I got here before 8, and I will be here for several more hours. And there's no mini fridge or anything in here, so like I'm not gonna. All I have is water until I go home later this afternoon. So I will have been fasting for the majority of the day, and I feel actually great. Like,
Do you?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I would do this though.
I feel like I have more energy right now than I would have
Right,
if
well,
I
that's
had
good.
like stopped and had lunch.
I would ask your doctor, what and maybe another person, as far as the best way, to go about, this. Is this okay that I'm doing this? Sometimes,
Yeah.
you think it is, and then, geez,
Well, the problem with intermittent fasting can be that you overeat when you're done, right? So
overeat for that one meal or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, for that one meal, or you overcompensate. You've made yourself too hungry, and then you do that. There's also like some people that think that it slows down the metabolism. Etc. I don't do it all the time. On days that I do, I do tend to find that I feel better. And as far as, it was sort of always the other thing that happened other than the pandemic is that I have been fully nonstop since March 2020. Like, I don't remember the last time I had a day off. It's coming up on 5 years. Since the last time I had a day off.
Well, that's got to change.
Yes. So
and you have to do something about it.
And I mean,
it's not like just saying I got to lose weight. You got to do something about.
And when I say I haven't had a day off, like and people think like, oh, like Thanksgiving, Christmas. No, like Christmas morning, I'm producing church services.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
gracious. So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So that can be problematic then. It can.
Oh yeah. So that's like when you listed off the things of like mindset, the changes in your mindset, whether you want to improve your relationships, your health, your eating, your physical health, your mental health, your vocation. I'm like, yep. Okay.
But that's where you have to stop and call a timeout and say, okay,
right.
Of all those yups, you got to pick one, or two maximum of what I'm going to work on this year.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean?
So I for me wanted to I want to focus on the physical health this year, because I think that to varying degrees for varying people, but in general, physical health helps your mental health. And it just does.
No one's going to deny that.
Yeah. So
it's an intangible, basically.
Right. I mean, there's like there are some people who use working out, etc., as like their own addiction, and that can lead to that is not anything I'm in danger of, guys. So
or am I?
So exactly. So if I can work on the physical health, then the mental health will improve, I'm sure.
Can you define when you
the-
say work on the physical health?
Just making sure that I am moving every day. Like if I have 15 minutes in between things, and today, like I might go walk down the stairs and come back up, like
Okay.
just cause.
By the way, you can
Or
get vertigo going down those stairs because they're so uneven.
the
You're like,
I know,
and the elevator. Is
I know.
it's like-
I know.
but these are good things, and why I say that is now you don't have the excuse. You're taking the stairs.
Yeah. Yep.
You got to, because the elevator is not working right now. So you know what? Then you get into the habit, and you're like, oh wait, I didn't even realize I could take the elevator. You start walking down. So you start doing these things. It's those subliminal little things that turn into the big things. You know?
Absolutely. So there's that.
Yeah. Which is great.
Yep.
Then. So applaud yourself for that. Sometimes,
Thank you.
you don't give yourself credit.
Yeah.
Also say, no, I'm doing this.
Right. The just in general, meal planning. Jackie and I have been sitting down once a week and going through, what we're gonna make and have in the house and eat, and essentially, I just was like in one of my journalings that I did at the beginning of the year. It was like, and this is a sad thing for people that enjoy my food reviews of stuff.
Right, that might be coming to an end.
But it was literally like food outside of this house does not exist for the time being. Food outside of this house does not exist for the time being.
That's hard.
Yeah,
because there's going to be events, things. Yeah,
yeah, and
but it's a choice,
and we'll get we'll get there. We'll do those things, and the thing is, just like the plant-based stuff, you don't need to go to extremes to any of this stuff. Like the if you can't do much of it, like go watch an extreme if you ever look at like somebody who needs rehab or therapy or whatever, like
physical rehab.
physical rehab, physical therapy, you're not doing extensive things for hours and hours a day. You're doing something 20 minutes consistently.
Yes.
And that's the thing. So
you know it.
So we have a little room in our house that we've made into a gym, and I have a little book in there that I write out what I did for the day, and I leave it out and open. And I have to fill it out every day, and I have to do something, whether it's lifting weights, which I can go to the Y for, or just going in there and doing body weight exercises, squats,
right,
stuff like that. And so that's really important. There is a like one piece of like recreational food in every grocery haul that we do. So it's like one thing per week.
Like a cheat type thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's healthy. That's like taking a day off.
Yeah. So it's like, I could have chips, but like it's one bag of chips for the entire week.
Right.
And it's, and I literally got like the no salt added, which I prefer.
Day, not that one bag over the course of the week, just that one day.
Right. Or like over a couple days, splitting that one thing up.
That's where it can be problematic with losing the amount of weight that you want, because the cheat day turns into 2 cheat days, and it's like,
well, no. So the overall, like, I don't need a cheat day if I can stay under, CECO, calories in, calories out. If I can just stay under the calories, I don't need a cheat day. Like,
Gotcha.
I don't need to go eat an entire pizza by myself, or
No,
like,
right, but
or something like
but
that.
if you
like
want to,
I have a
and you
yeah,
crave it, then
yeah,
then
yeah,
do
yeah.
it on that
But
cheat day.
but there's enough you know, I was literally talking to Jackie about this last night.
Mhm.
I was like, there's enough room for me to have anything that I want, like, and still lose weight. So where I'm at and like what my body does, like, it's a very different for her to lose 5 pounds being whatever she is. I'm not saying my girlfriend's
Oh my
weight on the thing,
goodness, you'll be in
but
trouble.
she's tiny. You've seen her. She's a tiny person. If she wanted to
but
lose
also
5,
attractive.
yes, she is. I love you. If she wants to lose
This
5,
is not scripted, by the
no,
way.
no, not at all. If she wants to lose 5 pounds, it's a struggle, and it's like, figuring out exactly what that is, etc. Like, if I want to lose 5 pounds, I could do it. I can do it in a week.
Probably in
by
a day sometimes.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
by
some water weight.
by being like 1,000 calories under, and I can actually be 1,000 calories under my metabolic rate for the day. So that's
Okay. So you have
it's the interesting thing of being like, I burn 3,500 calories a day just existing.
right.
So like,
So it's not a matter of you knowing.
yeah,
What it's a matter of, for you to drop the weight that you want to drop and the physical health you want to be.
yeah,
It's not changing your behavior.
yeah,
Most people, that's what they do. They change their behavior to what they want to do. It's changing your mindset first. Being that person that is, X amount, whatever your ideal weight is.
yep,
Living it,
yeah,
being that person.
yeah,
And that's pretty darn hard because, like, if I wanted to be, have $10 million a year, I got to live like, well, geez, I don't even know how the person with that much money would live. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
how do I want to live? How would you feel, Ben, if you reached your goal this year, come August? How would that make you feel? And that's what you have to, because that's what's going to change things. That's what's going to create the emotion. It's not just, it's the thought. And when we have that thought, it goes to a feeling, and we have a feeling that causes an action. And then that action causes a reaction, like the domino effect. You know what I mean? But we have to understand is we can't allow our thoughts to be controlled by our results. Your results can't control your thinking unless you like your results.
right,
But if you don't like your results, then you need to create your thinking as to what you are going to. So I see a zero bank balance. I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do here? Don't focus on that. What do you want that balance to be? Then see and act in that particular way. It's not burying your head in the sand. It's focusing on the things that that are gonna track to you.
yeah,
And I'm starting to really see this working in my life. Financially, mentally, physically. And again, Ben, don't get me wrong. This past Christmas, 10 whatever it was, I had a problem with my bipolar. I was a little off. And I'm like, what the heck? I thought I had this thing taken care of. I take medication. You know what I mean? There's all, you have to. So I have to work with my thinking literally to say, Paul, it's not the end of the world. Focus on this. This is going to happen. And next thing you know, you're like, all right, yeah, okay, I'm better. You know what I mean? I'm not going crazy, so to speak.
right,
And that was part of my problem with this disease is I thought it was crazy. But my best friend said, Paul, you have been crazy the whole time we've known you. So what do you think? You know what I mean? And that's the thing. You know what I mean? It's just take it what it is. You know what I mean? You're a banana or whatever.
Yeah.
And be the best banana you could possibly be. And for you, Ben, it's what you truly want. And it's a matter of then thinking, okay, what am I willing to sacrifice to get it?
Yeah.
Because right now I'm sacrificing, and I don't want to be cold, but what am I sacrificing for? So you know what? I told you, plug in a space heater or something. That's great. If that doesn't happen, Ben, then you know what you got to do? You got to do some exercises in here.
Yeah.
And that you don't want to do that, but you know what? You're gonna do it because it's gonna satisfy the fact that these walls and windows are not that insulated.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's one of those things you got to kick yourself and say, all right, I got to do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't want to do it. I told my wife the other day she has to work on certain exercises because whatever her health is, or and it's a matter of getting a routine down. You can't do it at 7:00 one day and then 12:00 another day. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Every morning at 5 a.m. I'm working out Monday through Friday. For the Dugases, they're doing it 6 days a week. But the point is, it has to work for you. If the vegan's working, beautiful, do the vegan. If it's not working, then find out what works for you. And it's a combination you just had told me.
Yeah.
So amen to that.
Another thing that I just wanted to point out in the realm of what you were just saying and all of this is it's a James Clear quote. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And that is
you're no stranger to this, Ben. It's not like you're a newcomer. You know what you're doing. You know what's going on. It's just a matter of, okay, I gotta take the leap of faith, whether it's a physical leap or a mental leap. And again, I'm the same way, Ben, and other things that I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't shut up. I gotta quiet down. Paul, how are you going to learn anything if you're constantly talking?
Well, Paul, this is your show, so you can talk as much as you want in here. But you know what I'm saying, Ben? That's a struggle for me.
Yeah. For someone else, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'll listen all day long. But I just get so excited. I'm like, oh, yeah, and this is like, I talked to a woman today volunteering. I must have asked her 20 questions. Before she could get an answer, I was asking her another question. It's like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? I get so excited about what she was telling me.
Yeah.
But that's part of my disease, the mania and the depression. I'm just seem to be up here a lot with my high energy. And I used to think that was normal and okay.
Right.
But maybe it is to a certain degree. But you also have to take a step back and let someone have their train of thought and to convey it so you can then truly understand where they're coming from.
Right.
It's like, no, Ben, I know what you need. I'm going to take care of you. No, you don't. You haven't even listened to him.
Yep.
I'm using that as an example, but that's my challenge.
Right.
And again, Ben, we're going to get through this. And I say this, whatever it may be, together. We got a weekly program here, and what we're doing, who knows what our audience or listeners are saying? You know what I mean? You might have to check the ratings and the views because we might have to cancel the show.
You actually, I mean, for it grows as the time goes on because they're all, more so than like a radio station. This is more like Netflix or something, right? Where it's on and then it's on and you have it forever. But you get a pretty good audience for 11 a.m. on a weekday.
Well, no, that's good.
Which is nice. And then it grows.
And who knows if they watch it? Again, my personal objective is I'd love to transform the life of a person that's listening to this. Yep. And again, I may never know that Susie James, who's listening to this right now, and that's a fictitious name. She may go off on her own thing, and because of what our conversation is, she's going to do whatever she does, and she's going to reach her goals, and you and I aren't going to know. That gives me the chills.
Yep.
But I have to believe that.
Okay, so circling back a minute, remember when I said that I worked literally Christmas mornings?
Yeah.
Christmas morning 2020, my mom dies on Christmas morning. Not a single person would have faulted me for saying, I'm not doing church today. It's Christmas. My mom just died. I'll replay we can put up a replay of last night's
live stream or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's Christmas morning. There were maybe 10 people in the church. I did it. I produced the show. Here's the thing. 2 or 3 years later, I'm looking at Facebook, and there's a post from a woman on Christchurch that says that about how she found the church, and it was that her and her husband had just suffered a loss, and it didn't feel like Christmas, and they didn't know what to do, and they felt lost in life, and they were really struggling, and they opened up Facebook on Christmas morning, and they saw that Christchurch stream, and they decided to go to the church after that and become members and volunteer their time, and now they are incredibly involved members of the church, and it has become a huge part of their life. Not only that, we now stream her older daughter's volleyball games.
All right.
So, but the church thing, this random decision of I should do that show anyway, right? Because when I do church services, I think of my grandma, who died in 2011. In the early 90s, she broke her hip. She lived with us. She broke her hip. She no longer could drive, and she didn't go to the same church as us, and she just didn't go to her church. So she was essentially homebound after that for the last 20 years of her life or so, almost 20 years of her life. And back then in the 90s, it was, if you wanted to participate in church at home, it was watching whatever televangelist was on television at the moment. Yeah. And she didn't want to do that. And so it was just reading her Bible and reading her, Our Daily Bread packet that she got sent out. And maybe once a year, although I don't remember that often, maybe once a year her pastor would come out and do communion with her in home. Again, maybe once a year. And I always think of how nice it would have been for her to be able to see the kids grow up in the church, even if she was still at home, and to listen to her pastor or her priest, even when she was still at home, and to participate and know what was going on and feel like she was still a part of her church, because she always felt like she was a part of that church. When she was buried 20 years later, she was at that church. That was her church, but she couldn't physically be a part of it anymore. So I always took a lot of care with producing church services. I think it's a sacred thing, and I think that it really matters to the people that are on the other end watching it. But I literally thought, I'm going to do this just because if someone's watching it, great. And then, like you said, someone's life was profoundly changed by that decision. Yeah. I would have had no idea. I didn't know for years. So
that's awesome. And I think that's great. And I think that's why you do what you do, Ben.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my goodness, I could have totally altered history in a certain respect by not doing something like I normally do.
Yeah.
But again, you can't beat yourself up the other way either. If you
no.
But
You
that's
can't.
a great example.
Yeah.
That you gave and amen to that.
Yeah.
So thank God that, you know what I mean, that happened and you do what you do. By the way, before we cut out.
Yeah.
I was telling my wife or something, I had a podcast with Ben Barber. She's like, I said, well, it's my podcast, Mindset Mastery with Ben. She's like, does Ben Barber realize that he directed our kid, Eliza, in the play? That I think it was the Christmas Carol. She had the first opening line or something like that.
Scrooge.
Scrooge.
2014.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it 2014?
It was 2014.
Oh
yeah.
My goodness gracious! So I forgot the year, but I remember I had the T-shirt.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'm sure. He had the Gabriel girls.
Yep.
Kara Kirker, Gabriel has 4 daughters, and Eliza was tight with them. So all of them, I think, had a play or part of it in that respect. So I said, yeah, I'm sure he remembers. You know what I mean?
I remember. I didn't
Yeah.
put that together, but
Yeah.
I remember.
Right, you remember that Christmas Carol? You know, it was
course.
a great production.
Hey, thanks.
No, really, it was. It was, you know what I mean? But you forget about these things because you do it because your kids are growing up and that's what your kids do.
Yeah.
But now that they're all in college, you're like, oh boy, there's,
Yeah.
none of that stuff's going on right now. You know what I mean? So now I'm not going to go to a Wesley High School basketball game, or am I?
Right.
Because I have 3-2-1 now. And
Yeah.
I can, and I can chime in on that.
Yep.
So that to me is where the benefits. You're going to get the people going to the game, but your aunt in Phoenix is not going to go to it no matter what, whether it's on 3-2-1 or not. But if it's on 3-2-1, she's going to watch it more than likely. And that's what's great about it. And same with me. If I don't go to the game, it's not like, oh geez, it's not like the blackouts with the New England Patriots. They were so bad that we're just going to stay home and watch it on TV, and they blacked out the game. No, the point is, what I mean, I'm either going to go to the basketball game because I have a place to go with friends and stuff, or I'm not going to go. And then an alternative is, well, geez, if you're not going to go and you're at home, throw on 3-2-1 and watch the publications and advertise your business. It's mind blowing to me that you're going to get more traction than you would if you're on channel 12 or 10 or 6 in a certain respect. You know what I mean? Depending on what you do.
Depending
and
on
stuff.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm but the restaurants and things.
Yeah.
It's a win-win-win.
Well, it's also hyper local. That's the main thing about that. But yeah.
So thank God
we
for
definitely don't have as big of a reach as the 3 major networks in Rhode Island. But
I got a little carried away. But my point with that I was saying is sometimes when you go so big, it's like going to the CEO to get something returned. Yeah. Well, just go use the store manager. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You don't need me.
It is a better value. We have it is hyper local, like we said, and
right.
It's also great for the community, like to see that you're supporting the kids and so there are a lot of benefits, and there's a reason why we have a gigantically incredibly high retention rate for advertisers. Right. People don't leave because it works and it feels good and it
for sure.
So but anyway, thank you for your kind words, Paul.
They're genuine and authentic. I just want you to know that.
I know, and not scripted at all. This is not scripted. And Jackie, I love you. Do you want to say the same? Do you want to shout out your wife? Yeah.
Betty knows she loves me.
All right. Well, thank you,
Anybody
guys.
that knows me knows the relationship there.
Yeah.
I'm the one that she has to put up with. That's for sure.
Well,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it happens. Thank you so much, Paul, for being here.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'll see you guys next week.
Wonderful.
Mindset Mastery with Paul Jancarella. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Again, I have my my website. It's I have my website. There's 2 of them. One because I speak and I'm a coach. When I speak, I share my story. When I coach, I hear yours. I listen to yours. And so it's speakmindsetmastery.com and coach mindsetmastery.com. Those are the 2 websites. But I also have a text line, the 401-741-0162. And you can prank call that as well.
You can. I do it often. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
So this is great.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul.
Right, thank you,
guys. We'll see you next Tuesday, every Tuesday at 11 for Mindset Mastery. Bye for now. Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.